Hi everybody, welcome to Christy Dawn's Cooking, and today I'm going to show you a very simple, easy, and delicious homemade bread that only requires 4 ingredients. So stay with me and I will show you exactly how we make this. So for this recipe we need all-purpose flour, yeast, salt, and hot water. And I'll bring you back and show you exactly how I make this delicious bread. So for this bread recipe, I went ahead and put 3 cups of flour in a big mixing bowl. We don't even need a mixer for this. What do you see how easy this is? And I'm going to add to it 1 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of instant yeast. Go ahead and sprinkle that in. Give this a good stir. Now today is December 11th, the year 2020. Whoops. And I will share with you that our Commonwealth, Pennsylvania, we're getting ready to go back on sort of a lockdown again due to COVID. And me being a homebody, it doesn't, really bother me. I mean, it doesn't affect me, I should say. I like being home. I like being with my family. I like that whole, sense of security. When we had it in the spring, it didn't bother me as well until I was grocery shopping and I could not find, I was having trouble finding breads. So I thought, well, I'm just going to go ahead and make some bread. I know how to do it. I've seen my grandmothers do it for years, and I couldn't find yeast. And I'll be honest with you, that's when I got a little anxious. When I couldn't find yeast because everybody else was, I guess, had the same thought, that's when I got a little nervous. And I was able to find some, and the kind of kickstarted me on this whole journey, which is hysterical. I wanted to get back to the way my grandparents did things, which led me to YouTube, which makes no sense whatsoever. But anyway, I did find yeast and I have yeast and I keep it in my freezer. So I know I am good to go. If I find, if I have yeast, I feel like we're okay. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give that back to the bread. Give that a good mix. Now, the last thing we need is 1.5 cups to 1 3/4 cups of hot water. So I put my kettle on and I'm going to do 1.5 cups for now. Let's see how it does. Go ahead and mix that in. It's not boiling, it's just hot water. So this dough is going to be very sticky, and that's fine. That's the way we want it. So we're just going to mix it up till it all comes together. Yeah, it does need a little bit more. Sort of looks like biscuit dough right now, but I need it to be sticky. So I'm going to go ahead and add the other 1/4 cup. Yeah, that's better. It's a little dry in here. The heat's on. It's in the 30s outside, so. I think we need a little bit more. And now it's coming together. Okay, this looks good. Definitely sticky. Okay. So, what I'm going to do now is cover this with saran wrap. I'm going to put it in a warm place. I need 2 pieces. A warm place for 3 hours. So there's not much yeast in there. You saw it's only 1/4 teaspoon. For 3 hours. It's going to do its magic. And what I'm probably going to do is just turn on my oven to 200 for a few minutes. Leave the door open so it makes it a little bit warm. And then just stick it in my oven, just in a warm spot, and keep like I said, I'm going to turn off the oven, turn it to 200, turn it off once it gets warm, and just leave it in there for 3 hours. And then when that's done, I will come back and show you exactly what it looks like. So the dough has been resting now for 3 hours. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and uncover it. And we're going to flour our clean work area generously. Take off my rings. Okay. So, and now I'm going to take a dough scraper. I'm going to scrape everything down in onto our work area. Everything off. Okay. I'm going to knead it a little bit. This is very, very sticky. So it's going to need a lot of flour. We're going to knead it for a couple seconds. Woo, it is sticky. Good. Okay, get into a ball. That looks really good. Okay, now what I'm going to use, I'm going to use the same bowl that we used before. Not going to dirty up another one. I'm going to put a piece of parchment paper in. Okay. And then just put the dough right in the parchment. Okay. Like that. I'm going to go ahead and put the saran wrap on it again. Okay. And we're going to let this sit for 45 minutes. Now, in the meantime, what you need is, I'm going to turn you guys over here. What you need is a cast iron Dutch oven or some sort of Dutch oven. And what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and get the oven preheated to 450 degrees. As soon as that comes up to temperature, I'm going to put this in there for 35 minutes. So make sure that you have a lid that has an oven-proof handle on it. So for 35 minutes. So when that's done, I'll bring you back and show you what we do next. Okay, so the Dutch oven has been in the oven for 35 minutes at 450 degrees. This is screaming hot, so be very, very careful. I'm going to take the lid off. And then what we do, we just take the dough that was in the parchment paper and just put it right down in the pot. And I'm going to take a sharp knife and kind of just do a couple little, cuts across the top just to keep it from Alright, so the lid goes back on. It's going to go back in the oven at 450 degrees for 35 minutes, and I will show you what it's like when it's done. So the timer just went off, and the bread had been in the Dutch oven for 35 minutes at 450 degrees, and then I took the lid off and allowed it to bake an additional 10 minutes without the lid on. How gorgeous is that? This looks like one of those artisanal loaves. Oh, just beautiful. See how crispy it is. It sounds, oh, the smell is amazing. So if you've never done any kind of bread baking before, this is a great one to start off with. It's almost like a sourdough loaf. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you try it. It's so much fun to bake some bread and to bring those smells into your home on a cold day. So take good care.